We're here with Stuart Gilchrist. Stuart's an artist, designer, Marysville City Councilman. Stuart created the original concept of the Arboga Assembly Center, Memorial Site, Interpretive Center. Had this vision, and we want to talk to him today about his inspiration. Hi, Stuart.
Hi, it's good to be here. Good to see you.
We started talking about this project, probably almost 2 years ago, and we sort of laid it out for you, and next thing you know, you're sketching and doing that magic that you do. And talk about what went into your process in coming up with this magnificent design for this park.
So we drove out to see the site for the first time, and it's on, Broadway Boulevard, which I would every day for 6 years, the school bus, took me down Broadway to take me to Cummings Ranch. So of course, after you, Tina Linville and myself traveled out to the location and listening to all of the ideas, I could picture in my head what that looked like from the images that I extracted from online of the barracks and the barbed wire fencing. And so when we pulled up to the former Lupita Escalante homestead, the first thing I noticed was the typical jagged fencing that is all over Arboga and any countryside. And I fell in love with it. And that was my first inspiration, was to keep the old wooden fencing with the random barbed wire. You could tell a farmer fixed the barbed wire and it wasn't level, and it actually looked sinister and magnificent. Once the visitor makes their way through the sinister barbed wire fencing, we come upon the barracks, and I wanted corten steel metal, cold, severe, in juxtaposition to the wooden barracks that used to be there. I think they were tar paper with wood. And I wanted a rigid, cold series of buildings that represented the many barracks that were out there that housed I don't know how many people. But the most important thing was the barracks needed to say something. And my feeling about the laser cut designs within the barracks, I wanted to make a statement. I wanted us to realize that these people we put into the assembly center were actually locals. They were from this area. The first thing they saw in the morning was the Sutter Buttes, like all of us. And so the first barracks has a laser cut, a great job, by the way, laser cut image of the Sutter Buttes. The second image they see is that they were Californians. We're in California. So the second barracks has the state of California cut out, laser cut. And then the third one is they were American. And so the United States is the third laser cut image in the steel barracks to represent who these people really were. And so that was my inspiration. So I was very, very excited to be a part of this project and to see it come together so beautifully. It's very exciting. It looks like it's been there because of the fencing, and you're not quite sure what's going on. And then you realize what's happening, and I think that's the best way to let people know what was really going on in our own backyards.
The other side of these sculptures, and Dan, take us through this part of it.
Well, if you look at this right here, at first we have the Buttes, then we moved to California, and then we moved to America. Part of this memorial sculpture is to remember the atrocities that we have perpetrated in the past. Part of history is kind of like a Clint Eastwood movie. You have to take the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you have to, if you don't remember and you don't recognize that that we have done some horrific activities in our past, we aren't going to learn from it, and then we'll more easily slide back into a mindset of where that's okay. And if we stop teaching about it, if we stop remembering it, then that's a part of history that can be lost. And so with these memorials, hopefully it'll bring to the forefront of memory, to the mindset, to provoke action of remembering the civil rights of people that we have trampled on in the past. And that's part of our history as Americans. And to be part of something like this big, this momentous, was a blessing. It's just something I'm very intrigued with, of just remembering, of just the memories.
Very well said. And to paraphrase, we really need to own it, own that history. And these structures are the centerpiece of the memorial site, which is about 200 square feet out here on this piece of land in Arboga, south of Marysville, which is the property is actually owned by the Marysville Joint Unified School District, who graciously entered into a memo of understanding with us for the use of this land until they need it to build a school, which will be a while.
And these are actually proportional to the barracks that were actually on site.
That's
so
right.
We took the ends of the barracks and actually modeled these after the end of the barracks. And if you look at them, this is an interactive display. When you touch them, you'll see the handprints over time come out. And so we want this to be a personal experience, a personalized walkthrough, so to speak.
These are, well, hopefully it'll be profound when folks come out here and they'll follow the trail out and around the barracks. Sculptures, they'll see murals that we'll be adding here in the next couple of weeks. The murals will have QR codes on them, which will access videos of internment camp survivors. And it should be a pretty profound experience. If you come out here and you don't know anything about what happened to Japanese Americans in the U.S. during World War II, you'll be a minor expert after you come out here and experience this location.
Thank you.
Dan, thanks to you and the whole team at Yuba College for all your support for this beautiful project.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
We're at the Arboga Assembly Center Memorial Site and Interpretive Center, just completed by YubaSutterArts&Culture in collaboration with the Japanese American Citizens League of Marysville. This project has been in the works for many years, and we're pleased to be able to give you the kind of a first look here today. So come on along and we'll show you what's out here. It was about 10 years ago that this location was designated a historic landmark by the state of California. The plaque was created, the boulder was cut out to accommodate the plaque, and it's been patiently sitting and waiting in the parking lot of the Buddhist Church in Marysville for its final placement out here as the Interpretive Center was created. The design for the park was created by Stuart Gilchrist, local artist, designer, and Marysville City Councilman. He came up with the idea of these large steel silhouette sculptures which mock or at least give the impression of the barracks that were here, where 2,500 Japanese Americans were housed temporarily in 1942 while the federal government was creating the more permanent concentration camps. The silhouettes were created by Dan Turner, who's head of the welding department at Yuba College, along with support from his students. And they've become kind of the centerpiece of this site. We added murals to the park in order to convey additional information along with graphics and photographs relevant to the experience. Each mural also includes a QR code so that when you visit the site, you can use your smartphone just on the camera setting and hold it up next to the QR code, and a video will appear, mostly interviews with internment camp survivors. The silhouette sculptures simulating the outline of the barracks where the Japanese Americans were held are just such a dramatic centerpiece for this park. And now that they're actually here and in place, it's just remarkable, and it kind of conveys a sense of that oppressive atmosphere that these folks lived under for a number of years. got a lot of work still to do in the area of civil liberties, and this is just a great life lesson for us all. Do visit the Arboga Assembly Center when you can, easy to get to, well worth your time looking at what happened there, learning about that experience right here in our community. So thanks so much, stay well, and we'll see you next year.